Thank you so much for going down memory lane with me. You remember the first memory lane video I posted when I first started this series about 6.5, 7 months ago. Uh, that was ice and snow, or ice and sled mishaps. I believe it was called ice and sled mishaps. Uh, if you remember that one particular video, let me take you and to tell you a couple of stories about bike mishaps. I had first learned how to ride a bike when I was 10 years old by my cousin Lori's dad, my uncle Alvin Hagee. We called him Uncle Ab. He taught me how to ride a bike when I was 10 years old, and I was still a little bit shaky during that particular time to actually learn how to ride a bike. But my cousin Michelle and my cousins Lori and Joey, we all went for a little stroll down to Bolivar, in the town of Bolivar, Ohio. So I think we went there to pick up the mail from the post office there in the box, and we went down, and we always went in like a follow leader type thing, if you will, like a Lori went first this particular time, then Joey, then Michelle, and me. Lori rode her own bike. My cousin Joey, he had my uncle Ab's bike. Michelle had my Aunt Linda's bike, and I had my Aunt Sandy's bike. We were going down, and everybody come to stop at the curb. Well, I didn't pay any attention. I was looking off, and by the time I come back, or by the time I ended up looking forward, it was too late. I ran into Michelle on Aunt Linda's bike, and all you heard was well, I had hit the bike right there in the back of the wheel there, busted a couple of spokes, bent the frame a little bit, and punctured it, or done something to it to where the inner tube made the tire go flat. Well, we went back home, and went back over there to and whatnot, and Aunt Sandy had made me pay for a couple of weeks there. She made me do all kinds of chores and whatnot. Some chores that I look back on now and just shake my head because they were absolutely ridiculous. I won't get into those because they were just ridiculous. And I look on the back on that now, and I'm thinking, okay, well, wait a minute. Aunt Linda never really rode that bike to begin with. Michelle was the one who rode that bike most of the time. Aunt Linda never rode the bike, but nonetheless, I had to work that for 2 weeks to pay off that inner tube. Why 2 weeks, I don't know, but that's just the way it panned out. We'll take you to another time where I think it was about 86, anywhere between 86 and 88. I was riding on the 5-speed bicycle, and it was milk truck, everybody called it. My cousin Sean and his friends were ramping their BMX bikes there, a place called the 9th Street Trails. They had a big old, I thought it was a big old ramp type hill there, and I decided I was going to catch up enough speed and go up to use my milk truck to get there, and I got up there, and when I got to the top of the hill, the bike went backwards, and done a wheelie, backwards wheelie, and that's exactly what I did, done a backwards wheelie with it, and bent my right wrist all the way back, and fractured a bone in my wrist. Let me just say that that right there was very painful, and I had to have a cast for about 6 weeks. But nonetheless, I look back on that now, and I'm thinking to myself, well, wait a minute, this is just absolutely one of the funniest things that everybody could do. Everybody would be like, yeah, all right, milkman. But it just didn't work that way. The milkman definitely fell and definitely cracked his bottles of milk, so to speak. But I flipped over the handlebars in more ways than one, many times. A couple of times it was just like an ouch, I'd hurt her. A couple of times like, man, I'm lucky I'm still alive after that, because I definitely done a 360, a 180, and sometimes I even done more flips than you can imagine by flipping over the handlebars and flipping this way, that way, and had a lot of crashes, a lot of falls, but that's all a part of being banged up, and all a part of learning. And it took me a good while, and I haven't rode a bike in a good while, but I'm sure I still have a little bit of mishaps here and there, a little bit of problems, and a couple times I went down the hills and everything, and the brakes would give out, or the chain would pop, and almost go flying over the handlebars, or go flying over the handlebars. Just crazy and utterly funny times to actually sit there and deal with these bike mishaps. But looking back on it now, it was kind of funny to have just ran in there and punctured Aunt Linda's inner tube, and to actually have busted my wrist. It's a learning experience for each and every, it was a learning experience for me. Basically, watch where you're going when you're riding a bike, and don't try to do things that you know that you can't do. Thank you so much for going down memory lane with me. I'll catch you next time.